Shalom Israel. First and foremost, we want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kakadash, that belong to the apostles and those great millstone for teaching us his truth. Peace and blessings to the whole collective Israel and Shalom. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly in Hebrew. Ba'ashem means the name, and Yahweh Shai is the name of the unbegotten Son. Back from the lesson, and as in the title, how women should act according to the Bible. Now, I recently posted this video on my channel, if you haven't seen it already, which I believe I titled it as, you other women should learn a thing or two. Because everybody seeing this video, this woman is, submissive, and she wants to, be taken care of and, be, with a man, and bear his children and all that. Which I'm going to play it and get this video out the way, and we'll dive into the scriptures just to go into it, of how these women should act according to the Bible. Because a lot of these women today are just rebellious, are wicked, are out of order. And you see that specific spirit being pushed all throughout Babylon the Great, especially heavily onto a lot of these women. That seeing Cardi B, Beyonce, and go back to Cardi B, that song that she made, I don't cook, I don't clean. Pretty much saying, I don't need to do anything and you have to do everything for me. It just goes to show how out of whack and how out of order everything is. And that's why we're going to go into the scriptures and prove it of, how these women should act, and to be in order. So let's get this out the way real quick. And we're done with the scriptures. Lord, may it fine.
I just want to rant real quick because I am so tired of having to explain myself when I say that I want to be married and have children. Not eventually, like right now. I don't want to work. I have a job right now. I work my ass off because I have to, because I'm independent and have bills to pay, but I want to be married and have children. And that is not an unnatural thing to want in my early 20s. Biologically.
But I guess what? A lot of these women want to be so-called Miss Independent. Thinking they can do everything, better than the man. Thinking they don't need a man. And they keep that same mentality, especially in the times of Jacob's trouble, and see where that leads you, man. Because a lot of these women are going to be in deep crap, man.
I am meant to have children now. This is the most fertile I'm ever going to be in my entire life. I don't know when the entire Western society became brainwashed to think that that is unnatural. That is the most natural. My purpose.
And you have a lot of women that will come out and say, I don't want to, marry a man, and be tied to him forever. I want to, have fun and what do they like to call it? I forget the exact thing these women like to say. It's hot girl summer, I think, for lack of better words. Where they're wanting to pretty much just hop from rod to rod to rod. Then years later, they're finally wanting to settle down, and no men, want to get with them. And you wonder why.
My job on earth, my calling in my soul. I long to find somebody who will protect and provide for me while I bear children for him. I shouldn't have to explain that to every single person that I say this out loud to. You're the one who's wrong here. I just want to be a natural feminine woman. Apparently there's no place for me in this world anymore.
And guess what? A lot of these women are not really women. Matter of fact, they act like a bunch of men. Acting all tough, especially within the relationship. These women always want to be in that power position, the leadership role. They want to be the ones, to wear the pants in the relationship, in the household. When that's out of order and it's wicked. But you saw that video we just played right there. Now it's time to scriptures to go into how these women should act, and be. I'm gonna add this part in an editing program. But I forgot to get these previous scriptures I wanted to, add on to the lesson to, push the point further. But 1 Timothy 2:9 through 15, which we read a little bit right here. But, it says, in like manner also that women adorn themselves in modest apparel, with shamefacedness and sobriety, not with broided hair or gold or pearls or costly array. In today's society, you don't see these women wearing modest apparel. You don't see them covering up. Matter of fact, you pretty much see them revealing themselves, their whole body, basically. Wearing those crop tops, those super short shorts, revealing pretty much just everything that they have, man. Which is, often, as I see right here, this is how the women should be and operate, wearing modest apparel, covering up, And these women wonder why they're being looked at and Especially lies being getting ravished out here, man. But it says, verse 9, in like manner also that women adorn themselves in modest apparel with shamefacedness and sobriety, not with broidered hair or gold or pearls or costly array. Verse 10, but which becometh women professing godliness with good works. And you don't see a lot of that with a lot of these women. This is why Yahweh Shem Shai is going to destroy a lot of them in these coming times, man, especially in times of Jacob's trouble. But in today's society, this is not what you see. Now, this is 1 Timothy 2:11 through 14, and you actually see the exact opposite, in today's society, with the modern day woman. Rebellious, loud-mouthed, ultimately a burden when they're supposed to be a pillow of rest, man. You have men coming home from, working a 9 to 5, from their job, coming home to the house dirty, no food cooked, it's just all out of whack, man. But let's get 1 Timothy 2:11 through 14, which I don't have these in particular order, I don't think, but those will, still connect. But now it says that the women learn in silence with all subjection. And it says, verse 12, but I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. Now this is going to the order, and the women are supposed to, be in silence, especially, not to usurp authority over the man, especially dealing with this truth, man. And you have like these so-called prophetess, going out to the highways, trying to, teach this word when that's not what they're supposed to do, man. As by suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. So there's a proper order to these things, Verse 13, for Adam was first formed, then Eve. Because you have all these women that will come out and say that they're better than the man, that the men are supposed to serve the woman. It's just all out of order. And that's that Queen of Heaven spirit, man, that's being pushed. Now, verse 14 now says, and Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression. But as you know, the woman is the weaker vessel. Now let's dive into the other scriptures. But it says Ephesians 5:22 through 25. Now it says, wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as unto the Lord. And you don't have that a lot today. These women are not submissive, not loyal. Matter of fact, they're loud-mouthed, rebellious. Especially with all these movements that are being, pushed all throughout Babylon the Great, dealing with my body, my choice. Even within the relationships, it makes it to where the man pretty much has no say. These women are able to do pretty much anything that they want without your say. And that is out of order, man. These women are going to continue to extend those boundaries to where it's not really even a relationship at that point. These women ultimately want the status of being in a relationship, but don't want to have the the responsibility of one. Verse 21 more time says, wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as unto the Lord. Verse 23 now says, for the husband is the head of the wife. So there is a, once again, proper order, man. Within the households, the man is the head of the household. Without the head, the body can't operate. That's why you see a lot of these single, mother households pretty much just crumbling, man, falling apart. The man is, an important, key piece in order for things to operate, to work out, Verse 23, for the husband is the head of the wife, even as Hamashiach is the head of the church, and he is the savior of the body. So once again, there is an order to these things. As therefore, as the church is subject unto Hamashiach, so let the wives be to their own husbands in everything. Verse 25, husbands, love your wives, even as the Hamashiach also loved the church and gave himself for it. So there you go. But a lot of these women want to, go out and party, so-called live it up, and as I mentioned earlier, that so-called hot girl summer, where they go out and get with a ton of guys and to just ultimately getting ran through, man. It's just all out of whack, man. All out of whack. And also these women just have nothing to offer, man. A lot of these women can't cook. A lot of these women can't clean. Ultimately, a lot of these women don't know how to be women. Want to be Miss Independent. Also, they want to act like a damn guy, man. And no one's trying to deal with that. As I mentioned earlier, these women are supposed to be, a pillow of rest. But in reality, in today's society, they're a burden, man. Constantly nagging at every point, loud mouthed. As I brought up earlier, you see in many situations where a lot of these women won't even cook for the husband. Don't even know how to cook. Won't even clean the house. Expect you to do everything for them, which is completely off, man. Once there's an order, a perfect balance to these things. But in today's society, you see the exact opposite, which is ultimately the main point I'm trying to push. As is 1 Corinthians 14 and 40. And it's let all things be done decently and in order. And you don't see none of that in today's society, in this wicked queendom. Because in today's society, you have the woman being put on a pedestal, man. But as we read earlier, how the man is the head of the household. He's the head of the woman, But now you have, the feminist movement to where they want to, put the woman on the same level, to that of a man, which is off, man. Because once again, there's a perfect order. Everyone has their own roles, man. Now, let's get Proverbs. Yeah, let's get Proverbs. Well, actually, let's get 1 Corinthians. I thought I got this already. 1 Corinthians 11 and 3. Now, I said, but I would have and that's Spirit speaking on this, that the head of every man is Hamashiach, and the head of the woman is the man. There you go. But in today's society, they want to do away with that, But I would have that the head of every man is Hamashiach, and the head of the woman is the man. In today's society, the women want to be the ones to wear the pants. You'll see in many movies where the women are always, pretty much just nagging the man and pushing them the way that they want them to go. Telling the man to go and sleep on the couch. But it's just off, man. Kicking him out the house. When that's the house he bought. The bills he pays. It's just off, man. 1 Corinthians 11 and 3. It's like I'm kind of rambling, but loads of I'm getting the point across. I saw that video and I was wanting to make a lesson going into it after I posted it.
Just want to rant real quick.
Because ultimately, that's how women should be. They should be feminine. They should want to be protected by a man. But a lot of these women be so called Miss Independent, and think they don't need a man. They hate men. Matter of fact,
Quick, because I am so tired of having to explain myself when I say that I want to be married. And
this right here naturally wants to make you take care of these women that are naturally submissive, that will listen, that are feminine, and you don't see that a lot in Babylon the Great, man.
have children. Not eventually, like right now. I don't want to work. I have a job right now. I work my ass off because I have to, because I'm independent and have bills to pay, but I want to be married and have children. And that is not an unnatural thing to want in my early 20s. Biologically, I am meant to have children now. This is the most fertile I'm ever going to be in my entire life. I don't know when the entire Western society became brainwashed to think that is unnatural. That is the most natural.
I see a lot of these women are starting to see just how crazy a lot of these other women are. But in today's society, it's pushed to hate the man. That you don't need a man. As I mentioned, Cardi B, I don't cook, I don't clean, I don't do any of that. But this is off. It promotes rebellion. It promotes disorder.
Purpose. My job on earth.
Because once again, these women have a specific role. And a lot of them are trying to get out of that role, man.
My calling in my soul. I long to find somebody who will protect and provide for me while I bear children for him. I shouldn't have to explain that to every single person that I say this out loud to. You're the one who's wrong here. I just want to be a natural feminine woman. Apparently there's no place for me in this world anymore.
That's why, scripture goes to Isaiah 4 and 1. How 7 women shall take a hold of one man, which 7 goes to the word completion, so pretty much any number. You're gonna see that very, very soon. You're gonna have these women, you're wanting to be pretty much all over, the men of the Lord, coming to these last days. But as was mentioned in Isaiah 32, a lot of these women are gonna be in deep trouble, man. Woe unto you women that are at ease. You're taking pretty much everything lightly. Proud, wicked, rebellious. loud mouth, and you wonder why no man wants to deal with you. But the 1 Corinthians 11:3 one more time. It says, but I would have you know that the head of every man is Hamashiach, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Hamashiach is God, is the Most High. So once again, going to show there is a perfect order to these things. And you see in the Esau Edom's kingdom, it's just all out of whack. It's all jumbled up, man. A big ball of confusion. Now we got a few more scriptures, and we'll shut it down from there. Now I'm getting the scripture here, to go into how, the women pretty much act today, and we pretty much got the scriptures up here of how the women should act and how they should be, feminine, submissive. I've read a couple scriptures up here. Now it says Proverbs 30:20. Now such is the way of an adulterous woman. She eateth and wipeth her mouth and saith, I have done no wickedness. And this is the type of spirit that you see on a lot of these women. To go out and to commit adultery, and actually they're boastful about it. They will post themselves on TikTok and all these different social media sites of them actually doing it. Of them recording themselves saying that they cheated on their man, and then they're happy they did it. And you have the woman in the comments, applauding her and saying they've done the same, or they wish they could do that also. It's just completely off, and that's the spirit that you see being pushed. As we got in the previous scriptures, that's not how a woman is supposed to act. Committing adultery is a grave sin, man. That's a sin unto death. And you have women, especially men, but especially dealing with the women, that go out and commit these things like it's nothing, man. Through Job 39:17, that's because the Most High had deprived her of wisdom. And you just saw in that video we just played, how she was saying, she don't know how brainwashed, pretty much everything is. Let's see if we can get that real quick.
I don't want to say, but I want to be made. Excuse me. That is not an unnatural thing to want in my early 20s. Biologically, I am meant to have children now. This is the most fertile I'm ever going to be in my entire life. I don't know when the entire Western society became brainwashed.
All right, there you go. The Most High deprived her of wisdom. Neither had he imparted her to understanding. So there you go. And also goes to show that the Lord is not dealing with the woman as he is with the man. Now, we got two more scriptures, and we'll shut it down from there. And Lord's will got the point across, and tie these points together the best of my ability. Ecclesiastes 25:16 now says, I'd rather dwell with a lion and a dragon than to keep a house with a wicked woman. And that just goes to show how bad it really is, man. That you'd rather, dwell with a lion, and a dragon, than, than deal with that woman, Than to keep house with a wicked woman. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of these women are supposed to be, a pillar of rest, But now they're actually, a burden, man. They don't cook, they don't clean. Most of these women are ran through, It's just all out of whack, man, Now, let's get Ecclesiastes 25:19. As that all wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. And let the portion of a sinner fall upon her, as scripture going to, for the wages of sin is death. As well as in the scripture mentioning that, sin is the transgression of the law. Going to the breaking of the law. So, remember time, all wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Going to show how nasty and wicked a lot of these women are. Remember time from on top, all wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her, which is judgment, which is death. Excuse me. But purpose made point of the lesson already. Let's make it a quick lesson through the spirit. I posted that video, a couple hours ago, if not yesterday. And I was want to make a lesson going into it, man, because these women are just completely rebellious, wicked, out of order, and you see that heavy, perverse spirit being pushed all throughout Babylon the Great. The modern day woman is completely through, and you don't see a lot of women that act like this woman right here. That want to be with the man, that want to be, taken care of, that want to be, natural and feminine, submissive. You don't see any of that today, man. But, pretty much made point already. Sorry if I kind of rambled a little bit, but Lord will get the point across. I do want to give all praises, all honor, all glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Kakadash, the Barnes the Apostles, and I was great millstone for teaching us true peace and blessings to the Hope Collective Israel. and Shalom, Shalom.